best game of all. Up they go there, flying so high. What's that kicking straight as the die? It is football at its wonderful best, the fastest game of all. Full of action.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Newton Chandler was born 2 years before the league was formed, played for Carlton and Victoria, and was the Blues recruiting officer till the age of 90. On his 102nd birthday, his cherished visitors are Carlton stalwarts Jim Francis and Jack Hale.
Look at him. 1933, he came and recruited me from Hawthorn.
The strong backs of men like Newton Chandler carried the game to where it is today. The golden era of the 30s trumpeted players of freakish skill: Kazali, Nash, Regan. Fitzroys, Hayden, Bunton and Essendon's Dick Reynolds each won 3 Brownlow medals in the 30s. It was said of Bunton that he had the grace of a gazelle and the strike of a panther.
Bunton was about the best footballer I can remember. He had beautiful balance and grace.
Though most in the 30s earned the princely sum of £3 a game, Bunton and Dyer lived like kings.
I was getting a tenner, which was big money those days. I was only getting paid £3 from the club. It's made up to a tenner.
By supporters?
No, by one supporter, one millionaire.
The big money was just as lucrative for the footy tipsters. When Mrs. Helen Mackay won the Herald's tipping in 1938, the £1,600 prize was enough for this wife of a South Melbourne policeman to buy a brand new Hillman Tourer and a house where she could watch the sheep graze in Labour Street, Kew. These were halcyon days for the ice cream salesman and for players who were treated to such extravagances as an all-expenses-paid end-of-season trip.
Of course, it was a big deal when we won the 28 grand final. The club went for a picnic down to Mornington.
Sadly, the early Aboriginal players were treated appallingly. Doug Nicholls, later Sir Doug, Governor of South Australia, suffered a terrible indignity.
Trainers in the Carlton rooms refused to rub them because they were Aborigines. And they left, walked out of Carlton, of course, and he went over to Fitzroy, and it was a huge success for the Victorian Football League.
A committed Christian, Nicholls remarked that a footballer can preach a sermon by the way he plays the game. Today, there are over 30 Aborigines in the Australian Football League. The wizardry of Palmer, Cable, Jackson, the Crackers, Wanganeen, Winmar and Long has enchanted generations of fans. "60 years before Michael Long loped through the heart of the Melbourne cricket ground, spectators marvelled at the game's first glamour men. High-flying forwards Jack Titus, Gordon Coventry, Carlton Soapy Valance and the aerial genius Bob Pratt.
I practically lived for it, to tell you the truth. The work didn't mean anything to me, but playing football on the Saturday meant everything.
Bob Pratt was South Melbourne's spearhead when storekeeper Archie Crofts lined his shelves with the best players from around Australia, the Foreign Legion. Pratt is the only survivor of South's last premiership in 1933 and still shares the all-time goal-kicking record for his 150 in 1934. The same year, he declined a £100 bribe from gangsters betting on the grand final.
See, £100 in those days was really big money.
And who was behind that?
Squizzy Taylor.
South lost in 34, and the following year was hot favourite against Collingwood. But on the Thursday before the final, Pratt was hit by a truck carrying bricks through High Street, Paran.
I was walking up Hoddle Street, and an old woman said to me, she said, "What do you think tomorrow, Harry?" I said, "Look," I says, "if Pratty wasn't in that bloody side, I think we'd win." And God blimey, when I got the paper, and what do you think's on the front of the paper? Bob Pratt injured, hit by a truck.
Hudson has got 3. He's equalled Bob Pratt's record of 150. Will he put this one through? How he must feel. Oh, he's no more than 8 yards out. He should kick it. Up he comes. He kicks. Oh!
It would have been a shame. I mean, I'll say from a selfish point of view that I'm very glad I at least got to the 150, because I go into the record books as, and it's been a lot of years now, as sharing the 150 with Bob Pratt.
Football fans through 100 years have marvelled at the artistry of the magical men in the goal square, from Pratt and Coleman to Hudson and Jezelenko to the full forwards of the modern era.
Hudson's nearly on his own again. He's had a look behind to see who's coming. He's got around. If you put this through the needle, you're a ripper.
Wasn't allowed to go on, but they're looking to play. There he goes again, on the left foot, screw up, and it's through.